Naegele is in studio right now with our beer of the week. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Bill.
This is okay. Let's talk about how busy this week is in the world of beer.
It is the busiest week of the entire year, and it's a whirlwind of activity, and it's a lot of fun, and we're very blessed with the weather that we've been receiving on the weekend. So
yeah, man, it has been. I was over to the pool place, and they're like doing cartwheels.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cartwheels over the hot tubs.
Yes, and this weekend looks like another great weekend to sit back and enjoy a nice cold beverage.
It really does, and we'll be in the 90s, almost 90 today. Tomorrow in the 90s. Mm-hmm. It's crazy. So this is big, and it's because of the Boilermaker.
No, this has nothing.
This is just this week is this is just.
Sorry, a busy beer weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, of course it is.
Okay, got it.
The Boilermaker brings tens of thousands of
beer drinking,
thirsty people to town, and
what do you do after you run?
Yeah, you enjoy a Saranac Summer Pils.
Okay,
or a Blueberry Blonde.
All right. Well, what do we have here?
This is actually from a brewery called Empire Brewing Company, and
is that Syracuse?
Yes, they've been on Walton Street in Syracuse for about 20 years with their brew pub down below on Walton Street there, and we're very excited. These guys just opened up a new farmstead brewery in Casanova on Route 13, and it is a huge, sprawling facility. It's gorgeous. It's built with the intention of having it look like the old hop barns.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's got a 200-person restaurant in it. It's a fully functional day trip brewery and brew pub. So if you get a chance to stop out there, you'll get to see a state-of-the-art brewing facility that was just built. And also you can take in beautiful Casanova. It's right at the bottom of Casanova Lake, and it abuts the state lands. They have more than 12 miles of hiking and biking trails that are adjacent to the brewery. They've got a hop farm. They're growing lavender there, actually to use in this beer, and a lot of other nice things. They got a big irrigation pond out front that they're going to have pond hockey on in the winter. So this should be a really a boon for Madison County.
Yeah, that is huge.
That's really cool. Was there ever a resolution to the suit? Wasn't there?
Yes.
Didn't they have an orange beer, and then there was a
Strikes Bach.
Whatever happened?
Empire Strikes Bach.
They received a cease and desist from Lucasfilms for using the term Strikes Bach or the name Strikes Bach. I don't believe took it to court. They settled out of court, and if you just don't call it Empire Strikes Bach, I guess there's no legal ramifications. So.
Except for all the publicity they received.
Yeah, it's
which
terrible.
Was really awful. Right? I mean, they just destroyed their business.
Yes, it's awful.
So what do? They opened up a whole new brewery.
So they can still use the name?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then was there a controversy over, didn't they have a Syracuse-themed or an orange-themed?
Yes, they have Otto Amber, and there was no controversy over that. They're actually... you can buy Otto Amber at all of the concession stands in the Carrier Dome, so that was something that they officially licensed.
Right.
And the part we skipped here, by the way, I don't know if you mentioned, this is called White Aphro?
White Aphro.
What do you think here?
And Aphro, spelled Aphro, is an aphrodisiac. And that's because of the combination of the lavender, ginger, and lemon peel. I
like it.
It's a great beer.
It's
really cool story behind this beer, too. The tsunami that struck Japan damaged a brewery over there called Hitachino Nest, and they make a beer that's pretty similar to this. It uses an herb that's not that doesn't grow in the United States, so they approximated it with lavender. But they started brewing this beer as a fundraiser to help the Hitachino brewery out after the tsunami, and it was so popular, obviously, they kept it around.
Wow.
But pretty neat.
Yeah, it's really good. Andrew?
So, I mean, I really do love this brewery and this beer. It sounds like a good third date beer, actually. But so the Empire Brewery, they opened that.
Not quite sure what that means, but okay.
They opened the new one in Casanova. But also, do they still have their main brew house and is the restaurant too in Syracuse?
Yep, they're using that as a pilot batch brewery now.
Oh,
and
cool.
they'll probably still make a lot of the stuff that you'll have at that restaurant, but all of their production is now in Casanova.
Okay. I was over the weekend. We were in Cooperstown and did not do Amagang, but we did the distillery tour, which is they make vodka, gin. They make actually rum there, right in Cooperstown. And that was a really interesting tour. It lasts about 35 minutes. It's small, but have you ever seen that?
Yes, absolutely.
That's kind of cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's neat to see all of these little places sort of pop
Popping
up in
up.
clusters, you know.
Yeah.
And I really do think that Empire is going to be the anchor of Madison County with the facility that they just built. Like I said, it's huge. It can accommodate hundreds of people at one time.
Wow.
And I'd like to see, there's already a few other things out that way, Kritz Farms, Hennenberg Ales, a few other things. But, I wouldn't be surprised if you saw some micro distilling or something like that popping up out there soon.
Interesting. And the one thing I learned on the tour is that New York now has, for all the this is very difficult for the Cuomo haters. And for those that certainly despise Cuomo over the Second Amendment and the SAFE Act, it becomes very difficult because New York now has the most liberal laws when it comes to distillery and brewing in the nation.
Right. And that was a total 180-degree flip over
Yeah.
the draconian blue laws that we used to have.
Yeah, think about it.
It really is.
And the result is, look at all these breweries popping up all over the place.
Certainly.
And
I think-
distilleries.
Yep. And as they get it straightened out so that there's parity across, both the farm breweries and,
Right.
our larger counterparts like Saranac, I think you'll see a lot of benefits come from that.
Okay, all right. So how does that work? I mean, I've seen Saranac; they've really embraced it, but at the same time, they were facing, just a few breweries out there, and today they're facing hundreds and hundreds.
Sure. Well, in the past they were unable to open their tap room and just sell you a beer. So with the law changed to benefit the farm brewery, they actually, how do I say it? With the way the law is structured now, they're able to do the same thing as their smaller counterparts. So it's not an unfair advantage as it was to the farm breweries.
Okay, so they get the benefit as well.
Correct.
And they become more diverse. And as you're seeing, like I really love the Moscow, the mule kicking or mule kicker. I love that.
It's
a perfect summer drink,
and it's selling very, very well.
And I can't find it everywhere though. I did get it next door here.
The initial run was kind of conservative. You never know what a new product's going to do.
I think you gotta get out there on this one because I think it's a hit.
Oh yeah, that's what we found. So
Yeah.
it will be. It'll be everywhere soon.
And it ain't cheap.
Well, good things aren't cheap.
Good
though.
things aren't cheap. That's exactly
you get what you
right.
pay for.
That's exactly, and that goes across so many different platforms, not just beer and beverage. Anybody else with anything else?
Yeah.
This is really good.
Yeah.
I
So
like
again, this is called White Aphro. This is from Empire Brewing Company, and you can now find Empire Brewing Company products in 4 6-pack bottles, which it was only draft before.
Got it.
Nice looking packaging. Take a look, and the beer is fantastic.
Andrew?
Made right in Kaz.
I was just going to switch gears a little bit, and this might not be the easiest question for you in your industry, but I was talking to somebody over the weekend who had told me that there's a lot of people who think that brewing, the art of brewing, has kind of fallen off the wayside because many more people are interested in becoming brewers, and they're kind of more sticking to a textbook and a recipe guide as opposed to tasting and experimenting. Can you comment on that?
It sounds a little bit like sour grapes. I think with any industry, the more people you have in it, you're gonna get a little dissolution of quality. But those will fall by the wayside. The consumer votes with his wallet, and nobody wants to drink bad beer.
Sure.
So.
And let's not forget how big Saranac and Utica Club and FX Met Brewery really is when you look across the broad spectrum throughout the country.
Oh, certainly.
I mean, they're up there in the top tier.
Yeah, they're a top regional brewer in the Northeast.
Yeah.
I wasn't able to come in before the sign lighting, but what an awesome event that was, too.
Yeah, and I was out of town, and I missed it. And
nobody knew what we were going to get down there.
Yeah.
And people might be disinterested in it, but I mean, the turnout was great. They had almost 2,000 people down there. Everybody had a good time. So
one big
to thank
toast
the Mats for that. Yep.
One big toast, and the lights are back on over the brewery.
You know what I heard? I'm interested about your thought on this. Some people said, I don't like that it changes colors. It should be red.
I think the plan is to keep it red unless something special is going on. But I think they wanted to show off all the tricks it could do.
Yeah. Got it. All right, good stuff. And again, this one is Empire and that new facility out there in Madison County.
Yep.
Check it out. Naegele, as always, thanks so much. 8:20, got a break. Hold on tight. Talk about airport security. You're going to be flying. There are some changes and some interesting things coming out of it. We'll talk to Kevin Malott, a specialist when it comes to security, next on WIBX.